All right, so we covered Bush. We covered Machine Head.
Yes.
Yeah. When the idea came to do a cover, you know, we bounced around a lot of different ideas, and you know, I specifically said I kind of wanted to do something around the 90s just because that's when I started really listening to music on my own and discovering artists on my own, you know, like bands like Kid Rock, Limp Bizkit, Rage Against the Machine, Green Day, and then it kind of filtered into Blink-182 and so on and so forth within the scene. So Bush was definitely one of those bands that I kind of discovered at first, and Machine Head was something that just blew me away. I remember hearing it for the first time on the radio, and you know, that guitar lead when it first comes in, it made me excited about rock and roll music. And when the opportunity came for us to cover it, I felt like we could give it our own spin. And I think that's important when you're doing a cover song. I think that it's important to take a song that exists and leave it the way it is in its way, but try to accentuate it and give it your own vibe. And if you can't do that, then you might as well do like a karaoke version of it. So I thought that this was a song that we could actually take and make it our own, and I think we did a really good job with that.
Absolutely. I mean, to add to what Kellin said, I grew up a massive fan of I grew up in the 90s. I grew up in the MTV generation. I grew up where Bush and Green Day and Metallica and Pantera and Soundgarden, all these bands were constantly in front of me. But that album specifically from Bush, 16 Stone, was such a seminal record for me. There were so many songs on that completely, like Glycerin was still one of the coolest songs ever written. So for us to you know, take on a Bush song and do Machine Head was like exciting for me. And I know that was a song that Kellin had mentioned even well before being asked about doing this with you guys. That was a song that had been brought up before about potentially covering at some point. So there was no perfect time than now to do the damn thing while we were in the studio, while we were working on new music and having some fun just putting that song together. It was awesome.
I also think it's important to kind of give people the opportunity to go back and listen to songs like that if they've never heard the original. Maybe it's their first time ever hearing it with our band covering it. I realized that with Iris when we covered it as well. So for people to go back and listen to the actual original version is also cool, because I think that it's a good thing for people to discover music, you know, in the past, because I feel like it kind of forms what is going on now. So
pay homage, man. Pay homage.